everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucy and in today's video we are filming my March to be read. So I'm being very ambitious in March, let's just say that. I would say March is definitely like a month full of readathons, and there is one that I want to take part in, so I'll go into that in this video. We are spoiled for choice with readathons this month, so do let me know if you're taking part in any down in the comments below. So as I mentioned, we're going ambitious for March, which, bear in mind I only read like 3.5 books in February, is a little bit risky, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am struggling to read more than 1 book a week at the minute, and I have a massive pile of books to read in March on my lap. So this might be tricky. So in March, I'm going to take part in the Tis the Damn Readathon, which is created by the lovely Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, as well as a load of other amazing creators. And I will leave the link to that readathon down in the description bar. This is a month-long readathon where basically it is Taylor Swift themed. So if you know anything about me, you will know that I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. And let's just say, as soon as I heard there was a Taylor Swift Readathon, I was jumping on it. So I'm not gonna go too crazy and try to do all of the kind of reading prompts, but all of my books here do represent one of those reading prompts. So the idea is that you tick off 1 of 3 prompts from each album that Taylor has released. So it obviously goes from the Taylor Swift debut album to Evermore. And I've kind of picked and choose a few of the albums that I kind of want to like check off, you know. Also, the good thing about this readathon, there are prompts that you can check off that aren't reading related. So some of them could be like, post a picture of a book on Instagram, which, you know, I might try and do as well. So without further ado, let's get on to my March TBR. So my first pick is going to be to check off a reading prompt from the Fearless album, which is read a book you're intimidated by. Oh yeah, so we are going to read The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. So you will remember, if you've been watching my channel for over a year now, that I read The Poppy War last year, and I adored that book so much. And things happen at the end of that book which kind of makes this a little bit scary to go into. So what can you say? I think like the main thing that's intimidating me about this is it is quite a chunky book, and I keep giving myself big books to read in my TBRs, and I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? You know, I've got some big old books to read here, and this is one of them. So this is obviously a second in a series, and for that reason I won't go too much into the detail about what the plot is about. But this is basically a fantasy series inspired by the Opium Wars. It follows a girl called Rin who basically joins this very elite military school, and let's just say war breaks out, and this is intense. This is grimdark fantasy, so it does mean that the characters are morally grey. They do some very dubious things, and they may not be, you know, acting out of their best intentions. So this book is definitely hard to read. Like, there's gonna be a lot of gruesome war scenes, I know that for a fact. But I am really excited to be back in this world and to be reunited with Rin, who is an incredible main character. So The Dragon Republic is the first book on my March TBR. Okay, so the second book ticks off a prompt on the Speak Now album, and that is read a book that has a film adaptation. So I'm going to read the 6th book in the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. That is called When He Was Wicked. So I know this book technically doesn't have an adaptation yet, but the whole Bridgerton series obviously has been adapted, and the amazing first season has been on Netflix. So I think this kind of counts. I'm gonna put it in here. When He Was Wicked follows the story of Francesca Bridgerton, who's a character we don't really see much in the other books because she lives quite far away. I think she like lives in Scotland, and she got married quite young, I want to say. Anyway, this book I'm very excited about because I want to know more about Francesca, and I just love the Bridgerton books in general, so this is going to be lovely. I find that I read the Bridgerton books very quickly, so hopefully I should be able to read this one quite quickly and just get through the March TBR. But I basically want to finish off the Bridgerton series. There are 8 books, so after this one I'll only have 2 left to read. Okay, so the next book on my Tis the Damn Readathon TBR is from the Red album, and it's Read a Book with Red on the cover. I'm holding up Midnight Sun and I'm not happy about it, mainly because I haven't finished this book, guys. It obviously has red on the cover. I started reading this before Christmas. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Basically, this book is just so long and I don't have any kind of desire to keep going back to it. So I need to force myself to finish this book. The funny thing is, when I do read it, I'm like, oh yes, Twilight, love it. You know, Team Edward. But when I go away, I'm kind of like, I'm not brought back to it, you know? I'm not drawn back and I'm not kind of thinking, oh yeah, I kind of fancy reading Midnight Sun. So I'm choosing this as my prompt for the red cover because I know I need to finish this book, and hopefully this readathon will give me the inspiration to just do it, to just finish the book. We can finish Midnight Sun. Hopefully in my March wrap up, this will be on it. So very helpfully, my battery just died there, so we might be in a little bit of a different position than we were before. But moving on to the next book in my March TBR. So this is checking off the reputation part of the Tis the Damn Readathon prompt. And the prompt is choose a book that has been recommended to you. So I have picked The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This has been recommended to me from basically all over BookTube. I can't move by the amount of recommendations this book has been like thrown. I think like it has definitely resurfaced because of the whole dark academia trend. This is basically about a group of university students who get involved with very sinister proceedings at their university, and let's just say it takes a dark turn. So I've been meaning to read this forever and I'm really excited about it. So I'm hoping it's as good as everyone says. I know there have been some mixed opinions on this, so it'll be interesting to see which way I lean. The next book fulfills the prompt on the lover checklist, which is to read the book that has been on your TBR for the longest. And for me, that is The Financial Diet, a total beginner's guide to getting good with money. So you might be aware of the Financial Diet kind of blog and YouTube channel. I am obsessed with it. I love the Financial Diet. I've been an avid watcher for many years now. And this is their like guide all about money. And I just love how like beautifully designed it is. I think, you know, this is going to give me all the facts I need. I mean, I've been reading quite a lot of money books over the years. I just find the topic really fascinating, and as I get, you know, older in my years and think about maybe buying a house one day, you know, I need to kind of brush up on everything there is about money. I think it's very powerful to be educated about money and finance. This has actually been on my TBR for ages. I remember buying this book when it first came out about 3 years ago, so it's probably high time that I read it now, I think. But it's very short, so I think that is the reason I chose this, is because I thought picking some shorter books is probably a good idea this month as well. Finally, my last book on my March TBR is checking off the folklore prompt, one of the folklore prompts, which is to read a book about mythology or a retelling. So I've chosen to read Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I bought this book when it came out in January and it just sounds amazing. It's basically about 9 Greek gods that are forced to walk the earth as mortals as revenge for a rebellion. And so this is kind of like urban fantasy meets Greek mythology, and everything about that just sounds absolutely wonderful to me. Like, this is like the dream book. I just love all books to do with Greek mythology. I'm a big Greek mythology nerd, and I do want to read more books about Greek mythology. So this is why Lore is my final book on my March TBR. And I haven't really heard loads of things about this on YouTube, especially not the channels that I've watched. I've not seen a lot of people review this. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what this is like and see if it lives up to my expectations, basically. So guys, that is it for my very ambitious March TBR. I mean, it might not look ambitious to some people, but considering I'm barely managing to read 3 books a month at the minute, like, this is pretty ambitious for me. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please do let me know what's on your March TBR down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.